This is CNN, a network of Turner Broadcasting System.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. When I first heard that CNN was having Tim Dillon on, I couldn't believe it. Why would Tim Dillon give CNN his platform? Why would a CNN reporter be dumb enough to enter the arena with Tim Dillon? But then Tim Dillon previewed all of it on Joe Rogan's show and shamed CNN, prodding them to release the full interview. Listen to this.
See you for an hour because I'm promoting my special, and then
my God. Did you really?
And they asked
Who'd
me.
you talk to?
This girl, Elle Reeves.
Was she cool?
She was cool. She does all the, when you see the Vice documentaries where she talks to the Nazis and the incels?
Oh, Jesus, she does
that? It was that chick, and they sent her in.
Oh, that's a good move
I was
for them.
like, this is hilarious. So I'm sitting there, and she sits down, she's like, are there any left-wing comedians? And I named 10 of them that are all in arenas. And she goes, oh, because their whole thing now is that podcasters are the most powerful people in the world. And she goes, do you think you're friends of the new establishment? I said, well, there's 22 intelligence agencies, an entire legacy media. There's lots of Ivy League schools. There's this, there's that. Do I think Theo Von's the new establishment? No. I don't think so. I think you ran a really unpopular candidate. I don't think Americans like child sex changes. And I don't think they want an open border. And I think if you'd, co-opted some of those issues, you might have won. They said to me at CNN, they're like, we're editing the interview. I said, put the hour out. I sat there for an hour and we had a nice conversation, but we talked for 1 hour and I was like, put it out. I'm like, I understand if you can't put it out. And then she goes like this, she goes, I can't believe you'd show up. People have said that they can't come on here because Joe Rogan would get mad at them. I said, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Why would I care?
Said, he doesn't care. He would never care. I said,
oh, that's so silly.
It's the silliest thing ever.
They think we're at war.
I just said, put out the hour online. If you can only put out a few minutes on network, fine. But it's wrong to have someone come in and talk for an hour.
Right.
And then
not use 3 minutes.
And then use 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
so how much did they?
So Tim Dillon says, we don't know yet because it hasn't been put out. But now, ladies and gentlemen, the release has happened. Not only did CNN release on network an edited version of their Tim Dillon interview, which is incredible. It's still remarkable. And there's so much to talk about when you actually watch the clip that they put up. But they also released the full hour on CNN, and it is getting completely and totally ratioed into the sun in a good way. This is the full hour, to their credit, put up, and the comment section here is just delicious. This is a 22,000 comment section. CNN interviewing Tim Dillon like he's the vice president to the Joe Rogan Experience. It's the first time I've ever clicked on a CNN video. Very kind of Tim Dillon to share his platform with CNN. Joe Rogan spent a lifetime trying to find aliens, and Tim Dillon did it in 71 minutes. Glad to see CNN shedding light on someone who lost everything in the LA fires. Tim explaining nuance for 71 minutes to someone on a heroin. All right. Okay. I can see and hear Tim fighting the urge to go full-blown rant mode. The year's 2025 and CNN is asking Tim Dillon what's going on in the world right now. Okay. You can tell around the CNN office, the staff just talks about Joe Rogan like he's Voldemort. All right. Here we go. Here's the clip that they aired on broadcast. All right. So here's the Tim Dillon clip on broadcast. It's spectacular. You're going to love this. Here we go.
The return of President Trump to the White House has also led to a surge in the popularity of right-wing comedy. One rising star in that world, Theo Von, was the opening act for President Trump when talking to U.S. troops in Qatar.
One of the most famous suntans in the world is here today, Donald Trump. So, oh yeah, that dude's got the best one. Hell yeah. Oh, he's got a tone of his own, man. That guy, he sunbathes at a Sherwin-Williams, dude.
So here's Ellie Reeve on comedy's rightward swing and the faces at the forefront of it.
I don't have any friends in LA. I'm just friends with RFK and his wife. And that's all I need. That's all I need. Yeah. They're amazing. His wife Cheryl is the actress from Curb Your Enthusiasm. She's so sweet and optimistic, and he's less optimistic because the CIA killed his whole family.
Hell, I don't do it anymore, man, and I'm not doing it.
Is you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll be out on your own porch, Yeah.
Comedy has changed. There's a hugely influential group of comedians with a kind of right-wing countercultural vibe. Tim Dillon, Andrew Schultz, Tony Hinchcliffe, Shane Gillis, Theo Vaughn. They're friends, they're in Joe Rogan's orbit, and they podcast. Some of them with very powerful people.
You drink coffee, man, or no?
Nah.
Really?
These guys all have Netflix specials, but most of their work by volume is podcasts. Endless hours of podcasts. They talk about current events, in part, Tim Dillon said, because the YouTube algorithm rewards it.
These tariffs are for the Oompa Loompas.
There's a number of these rising star, new media comedians who have decided to throw their hat in directly with the right side of the American political spectrum, who are ascendant. I don't think you can deny that.
Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor.
Trump's campaign did see potential in their audiences, and he had a strategy of reaching young men on YouTube through a significant podcast tour. More did vote for him in 2024 than in 2020.
Barron is 18, he's handsome, he's tall, he's rich.
He's got the whole ball.
He's unleashed in New York City. Are you sure you want to reverse Roe v. Wade now?
Dillon hosted J.D. Vance just before the election.
Okay, Kamala Harris is the person who, when you tell a really funny joke, she says, well, that was like kind of offensive. Right?
Yeah.
Did you find him to be authentic?
I found him to be a politician. These are not the coolest people in our world. They're like dork politicians.
Yeah, but they want you to make them look cool.
I think they want to tell people who they are, and it's a version of who they are that wants a job.
He invited Bernie Sanders on his show, but the senator's staff hasn't been able to schedule it yet. Dillon says he invited on Tim Walz during the campaign, but didn't hear back.
Who's been the candidate of stopping the stupid wars? Basically nobody in 40 years, with the lone exception of my running mate, right, of Donald J. Trump.
What attracted me to a lot of what Vance said in that interview was that he was saying things like, we don't want to run the American economy on permanent war, and we don't think it's a good thing.
The wars continue.
That's why I'm disappointed. People who seem to...
There's this slang in internet debate, to steel man, which means to use a very strong version of an argument. Dillon and I used it when talking about criticism of his interviews.
Can I make the Steelman
Yes.
case for you being bad?
Yes, absolutely.
The Steelman case for you being bad is you rolled out the red carpet for J.D. Vance to make his case that he's just like you, man. He likes jokes, he hates war, and then that enables him to get in office and deport people on college campuses for saying this war is bad.
Do I criticize that? I absolutely do. Your case makes sense if I go on my show and I go, JD I realized something's different and they should be deported and we should do this. If I went along with it, I'm bad. I'm saying I don't agree with it. Don't deport these people. It's absurd. So if J.D. Vance wants to come on my show and goes, hey, I believe this, that, and the other thing, and I go, that sounds good, but then in practice he does the opposite things, I call him out. And if you don't call them out, that's when you suck.
If you can both be attaching yourself to a wildly famous person like Donald Trump and also be labeling yourself as countercultural, even as you ask, frankly, not very challenging questions, that's a real sort of combination. It's kind of a magic trick that they've pulled, but it's a good business model.
But they don't back every Trump policy. There are some cracks in this loose coalition, especially over the idea of war with Iran and the war in Gaza.
Well, that's one thing that Trump said. If I get in there, 24 hours, the war's over.
That's a tough one. 24 is tough.
That's obviously.
But hopefully they figure it out because it is, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
The human toll is unreal.
Like, I'm kind of conflicted about Trump, like, with his stance on Gaza, right? To me, that's like...
I totally disagree with him on it, and it's like, it's hard to reconcile it in many ways.
I guess I'm curious whether you think or expect or hope that just as these politicians have seen something to gain in your audience, do you think they'll listen at all?
Will politicians listen to their constituents?
Yeah.
What a great question with an unknowable answer. I mean, I think a lot of people elected Donald Trump hoping that we were not going to continue foreign wars and spending American money for foreign wars. This is the whole thing. Everybody campaigns on a laundry list of things they're going to do, and are they going to do them, and are they going to listen? I mean, it's a great question.
Ellie Reeve, CNN, New York.
The news continues right here.
I mean, I got to hand it to them. I don't know if CNN thought this made them look good or what, but they look like really stupid here. And Tim Dillon looks spectacular. And also their attack on just comedy. Okay, I'm sick of winning. You're just going to make sure that nobody ever votes left ever again. The shrieking and shrill screaming about comedians. They tried this with Dave Chappelle. What are you doing? What are you doing? Good. Keep it up. Like, keep doing it. I say, like, continue. I want it. I want more of it. Gimme, gobble, 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 cookie. Keep doing it. This is an old, like, this was tried in 2021 when the Netflix freaks, lunatics, eunuchs, they all like tried to cancel Dave Chappelle. And the backfire was biblical. So keep it up. I love Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon getting absolutely like just vaulted across the internet for this. The Tim Dillon CNN interview is effing hilarious. They couldn't find a more pathetic CNN relatable liberal poster child than this chick. It's a prime example of the American cultural divide and the educated, pampered part of the country versus the uneducated, degree-free part of the country. This girl has probably bought a master's degree in journalism for $150K in student loans. Tim Dillon's a comedian and clearly educated. Never the two shall meet. They exist in completely different realities. A good point, actually, honestly. CNN's Elle Reeves sits down with Tim Dillon, and I know I can't be the only person who's wondering exactly how many gummies Ms. Reeves ate before this interview. When she wasn't asking rambling questions, she sat there with her fingers in her mouth. This makes her look like a chucklehead. Finally, watch the Tim Dillon CNN interview. The cultural gap is quite wide. I like Reddit. This is great. That's just great. CNN interview gets humbled Ashton comedian Tim Dillon, who's the new establishment now. Put CNN in the pot. Thank you, Tim Dillon, for giving CNN a platform. It's great. Oh, man. Democrats are putting out hit pieces targeting podcasters, comedians who called out Kamala Harris, and in some cases supported Donald Trump. They tried to kill talk radio in the 1990s, the same game plan here with the new media. It didn't work in the 90s, and it won't work now. Oh, man. It's so great to be on the side of actual comedy. And if you guys weren't such lunatics, I mean, I think that the main reason why comedians have gone right, quote unquote, is because the left have just heaved the Overton window right over an effing cliff. That's why. And comedians, these guys don't like, a lot of them are absurdists. If you've ever heard a Tim Dillon rant, and they don't like competition. The left has become so absurd, it's impossible to even parody or mock. That's why SNL isn't funny anymore. CNN is SNL. That's my take. Anyway, God bless Tim Dillon. That was freaking hilarious. More of this. More normalization of Tim Dillon. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.